Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. I've got the South Carolina College Baseball scoreboard for Tuesday, March the 4th. Let's start out with the NCAA Division I teams. Over at Floor Field in Greenville, Clemson beat USC Upstate 3-0. It was a double shutout until the fifth inning when Jacob Gerald hit a three-run homer. Then the Tigers hit three more home runs as part of a four-run ninth inning to win that game 7-0. Tigers were rolling along. Up in Chapel Hill, Coastal Carolina got three solo homers to take an early 3-1 lead over North Carolina, but the Tar Heels went ahead 4-3. Coastal got a run in the top of the ninth, forced extra innings, but UNC scored a run on a bases-loaded sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 11th to win that game 5-4. Down in Columbia, Davidson got a three-run homer in the second inning to take a 3-0 lead over South Carolina, but the Wildcats did not get another hit the rest of the game. Meanwhile, USC pitchers struck out 13, and the Gamecocks scored 5 runs in the sixth for a 7-3 win. Out in Stillwater, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State got a run in the bottom of the eighth inning, and they beat Winthrop 3-2 in the opener of a two-game series. Those teams will play again on Wednesday. Down in Clinton at the Elliott Pollock Complex, PC got 2 runs in the bottom of the seventh, and they held on to beat Wofford and snap the Terriers' long winning streak. That final score was 4-3. Down in Statesboro, Georgia, Charleston Southern and Georgia Southern made up a game that was rained out a couple of weeks ago, and the Buccaneers were down 3-1 going to the eighth inning. Aiden McCaskey hit a 2-run homer to tie it at 3-3. However, Georgia Southern scored in the bottom of the 10th on a sacrifice fly to win the game 4-3. How about elsewhere in the state on Tuesday? Over at Conisty Park in Greenville, Brevard beat Bob Jones 11-2. The Bruins have lost 9 straight. Down at Miramo Field in Orangeburg, a couple of streaks fell. Claflin beat Anderson 8-7 in 8 innings in game 1 of a doubleheader on a passed ball. Walk-off pass ball, if you will. That snapped a 7-game losing streak for Claflin and an 8-game winning streak for Anderson. But the Trojans got revenge in game 2. They had a big 9-run inning early, and they cruised to a 15-4 win. Down in Hartsville, Coker edged UNC of Pembroke in a nice non-conference matchup. I believe they call it the Battle of I-95, if I'm not wrong. But the Cobras won that game 6-5. Down in Jacksonville, Edward Waters beat USC Beaufort 9-8 in 10 innings. The Sand Sharks had scored a run at the top of the 10th to go ahead, but they gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the inning. Cooper McDaniel had 5 hits for the Sand Sharks, and Jeremy Brown drove in 4 runs. In Florence Darlington Tech beat Brunswick Community College 9-3. Zach Hunt homered for the Stingers, as did, I'm trying to get the gentleman's name. Hold on a second here. Well, you're just going to have to trust me on it. I don't see it right now on my roundup. Tanner Beckley. Sorry, this is live TV. You get what you pay for. All right, so the Stingers won that game. Francis Marion beat Bridgeport 8-1. Lander scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th and beat Wingate down in Greenwood 6-2. Lenore Ryan had a couple of 2-run innings and a couple of 3-run innings, and they beat Southern Wesleyan 10-1. Of course, the Bears are ranked in NCAA Division II. Limestone got a bases-loaded walk to Sion Barnett, and they got a walk-off 5-4 win over Belmont Abbey in Gaffney. North Greenville had a big 8-run inning, and they beat Newberry 16-6. The Crusaders had about 20 hits in that game, as I recall. Spartanburg Methodist had a big first inning. They beat Voorhees 18-1 in 7 innings. The Pioneers have now won 4 straight games. USC Lancaster beat Surrey Community College 8-5. They scored 3 runs late to win that one. And USC Sumter had a big inning in the middle part of the game, and they beat the Academy Baseball of Canada 11-2 at Riley Park. Well, how about what's going on Wednesday in the state? Columbia International's JVs are at USC Union for a doubleheader at 1 o'clock in Jonesville. USC Salkehatchie is at a ranked Georgia Highlands team for a doubleheader at 2 o'clock. Spartanburg Methodist tries to keep the winning ways up with a trip up to Tennessee to play Milligan. Presbyterian and Clemson will play at 4 o'clock over at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. That's the makeup of the game that was postponed because of cold weather a couple of weeks back. USC Sumter is playing at Francis Marion Junior Varsity at 4 o'clock. Erskine will be traveling down to USC Aiken for a 5 o'clock game. Winthrop concludes that series at Oklahoma State at 5 o'clock. And South Carolina goes down to Joe Riley Park to play the Citadel at 7. Gamecocks usually have trouble in that ballpark winning. The Citadel always plays them tough. There were a couple of games that were scheduled for Wednesday that have already been postponed. The College of Charleston is supposed to be playing at North Carolina on Wednesday, but the game was postponed because of the prospects of bad weather. No makeup date was announced. Florence Darlington Tech was supposed to have played Fayetteville Tech on Wednesday. They've now moved it back a day to Thursday. So that's your South Carolina College baseball schedule for Wednesday. Again, this was the South Carolina College baseball scoreboard for Tuesday and the schedule for Wednesday. I have coverage of all these games and other things at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. This is Rudy Jones of Palmetto State Baseball saying, have a great night.